What's up, baseball fans? Welcome back to Talkin' Mets it, Rob, with the first of a few postseason games. We got a Game 7 on our hands tonight with the Texas Rangers and Houston Astros. The Battle of Texas will end tonight, and the winner goes to the World Series to either face the Arizona Diamondbacks or the Philadelphia Phillies. As I'm currently watching, the Arizona Diamondbacks have a 5-1 lead in the top of the 8th. Tonight will be decided who is going to represent the American League at the World Series. So hopefully everybody is doing good. We are going to have a lot of fun tonight, just as a situation where Max Scherzer is on the mound for a Game 7. But let's be honest, they made that trade with the Mets, basically picturing a situation where Scherzer can pitch in big games for the Texas Rangers. Again, he's been absolutely terrible in big games with the Mets. Big games for the Rangers wasn't good, and his postseason performance that he had in Game 3 wasn't very good at all. So we'll see what he's going to do here. I think there's going to be a very short leash when it comes to Bochy with Scherzer. It's all hands on deck in a Game 7. It's just that simple. So that's the way I see it when it comes to the Rangers and what they're going to do with Scherzer, but it's going to be very interesting. Well, we'll definitely see tonight, guys, for sure. So the game's about to start in not too long from now, about 15, 20 minutes or so. So once we get that game ready to go, I'll bring you the live stream, the live audio as always, and of course you get the game day up there as well, so you can follow the game visually and audio as well. So we'll get through that throughout the game, and of course constant reactions of the game and all that stuff. I don't know if you guys are watching the Arizona Diamondbacks and Phillies right now, Game 6. Diamondbacks got a 5-1 lead in the top of the 8th. They got a man in scoring position with 2 outs. And Kimbrel's on the mound for the Phillies with Evan Longoria at the plate. So it just shows you once again, guys, that all you got to do is make the playoffs, and anything can happen if you get hot at the right time, if you just get clutch hits at the right time, clutch pitching at the right time. And go figure, the Mets were 5-1 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they're 2 wins away from making the World Series. So and battling the Philadelphia Phillies. It just shows you, right? The Phillies basically manhandled the Atlanta Braves, and they're having a hard time with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So it just shows you, just get in. Doesn't matter how you do it. You got 2 wild card teams in the NLCS. You got 1 wild card team in the Rangers in the American League. So all you got to do is make it, guys. Just got to get hot at the right time. And it really doesn't matter, best team or not. And that's why I keep on saying, everybody's like, oh, how are we going to compete against the Braves for the division? It's not the end of the world. There's 3 other spots available in a wild card to make the playoffs. It just shows you. You just got to make it, and things can get done. And you can do the job and win games that way. And if you get good pitching at the right time, it can mean everything. Yeah, I saw Pham hit a home run earlier in the game, and Game Day is doing these stupid ads. Yeah, and listen, it is what it is. New York Upstate, how you doing? I'm trying to. Let's see. Yeah, let me just take this stupid thing off for a while. All right, there we go. Let me just fix something, guys. There we go. Sorry about that. Just trying to put it up where it is. All right, so once the game starts, I'll go back into game day mode, and you'll be ready to. Yeah, I don't like Bob Melvin. I mean, he's been having talented team for how many years now, and still hasn't done a good job, in my opinion. I mean, that we talk about the Mets and people how couldn't wait to get rid of Buck Showalter, how the team wasn't really like working behind him and, getting his back or anything like that. And basically the dugout was running rampant with all types of issues. Look at the San Diego Padres, and people want Bob Melvin as their manager. I mean, come on. I mean, if the Padres really like Bob Melvin, they wouldn't allow him while he's under contract to interview with other teams. That's how much they don't care much about keeping him. So that's the way I see it. Again, experience matters, but again, he's not. I mean, do we consider him a good manager? They had they have a really big payroll for the last couple of years as well, and they failed as well. So easy? Would you be shocked? I tell you, I bet money on Scherzer not pitching well. But again, he's not going to get a chance to have a disaster, because if he shows that he doesn't have it in like 2 innings, Bochy's going to pull him. It's all hands on deck. It's a game 7. They're not going to leave him in there like they did in game 3. It's just that simple. So, but we'll definitely see. Again, if he pitches well, he pitches well. I mean, I don't think Scherzer pitching 3 innings today is going to make or break this game, to be honest with you guys. Because Bochy and Baker are not going to let their pitchers, hang out there to dry, getting killed and giving up runs, right? So, when things are not going well, they're going to change the pitcher. That's the way it's going to be. So we're going to the bottom of the 8th in Philadelphia, Arizona, 5-1 lead. Phillies are trying to make a comeback here. If they win this game, they're going to the World Series. But the Diamondbacks have something to say about that. We'll see. Yeah, explosive. I saw that as well. Again, I mean, does that really matter? I mean, Bochy had, a really, really damn good teams with the Giants, right? And Baker, most of them are with the Giants, and with the Cubs, So I mean, I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. I don't think that really matters. I think it's just a lot of luck and just the right hits at the right time, the right pitching at the right time. That's the way I see it. I mean, Dusty Baker was considered a bad postseason manager until he took the Houston Astros job and actually had a team that was clutch. And that's been there before, right? It's just how it goes, right? That's the way I see it. Like, is Dusty Baker a great manager all of a sudden when he's failed in Chicago and failed with the Giants? That's the way I see it. So I see it in a whole different way. I don't really care about that record. Again, if Scherzer doesn't pitch well and he gets lit up in the first 2 innings, is it Bochy's fault? Does that record really matter? I don't think so. Well, easy. You know what? Like I said, again, I did a video a couple of days ago in regards to the experience over inexperience situation. This team needs an experienced guy that's been in the dugout. I'm not saying a guy who's been a manager. I'm talking about a guy who's been in the dugout, like a Damian Easley, a guy who's a first base coach, a third base coach, a hitting coach, somebody who's been on the bench that is dealing with in-game issues and dealing with defensive placements and all that other stuff. Even all that stuff. That's the way I see it. This team doesn't need a Carlos Beltran. This team doesn't need somebody from the ESPN booth. It's not going to be good. All right. I tell you this right now. This team needs somebody that has been in the dugout before. It matters. It really does matter. I think Harper just said, "Oh no, we did it." That's the way I see it. Damian Easley, interesting, right? It's those guys that are like role players, bench players. That is a solid player, but is usually plays on like 100 teams. Damian Easley, those are the type of guys that become successful managers. Might not be great managers, but good managers. And you know what? He will get respect because he was a player, right? I know the whole thing with Carlos Beltran is a lot of people that want Carlos Beltran. The problem that you're going to have is that what if Carlos Beltran is just can't handle the New York media because he didn't handle it well as a player, And when things are going wrong, can he control a clubhouse? Can he control a New York media? Right? If it doesn't work out, what are you going to fire him in 2 years? And then you're back to square one? Yeah, I don't want DeRosa. He's been around winning managers as a player. That means nothing. And I can care less about the WBC. All right. I mean, if you have a USA team, you should be pretty damn good with teams like against Australia or Great Britain. I mean, I don't look at managing the WBC and I'm going to consider you a good manager because we don't know. All right. Seeing it through 160. Now, again, I think Mark DeRosa is a great baseball mind, but you can't fail. You can't make a mistake with this managerial decision. This is number one manager for David Stearns. This is his first choice as manager. Remember, Craig Counsell, he inherited. This is his first real choice to choose a manager. He can't fuck it up. Because if he does fuck it up, guess what? Now we're firing a guy in 2 years. Because as quickly as we wanted to get Buck Showalter out of here, which I don't think it was necessarily the right decision, but having David Stearns in, I have no problem with him deciding he wants his own guy. I have no problem with that. Yeah, Piazza managing WBC too. Yeah, again. So he's a bad manager because Italy sucked, right? I don't want no guy that hasn't been in the dugout as a coach. Because I don't see the point. Like this is not a rebuilding team or a team that's not ready to win yet. All right. If this was a team that was on the verge of getting to that next tier of rebuilding or about a year away, I could say, all right, bring in a new manager, a manager who's with no experience. That's fine because they can grow up together. But this is an experienced team. This is a team that's going to have a lot of questions when in regards to Pete Alonso and the everyday asking about a contract. You got Nimmo, Lindor, Marte. You got Quintana. You got a lot of veterans on this team. This is not necessarily, a very, very young team where it's like, all right, we need to get a guy in here that is, around 38, 40 years old, somebody that can kind of relate to these guys. No. All right. These are veteran guys. Nimmo's been in the league for 7 years. Alonso going to be in the league for 5 and 6 years. We can't just say, oh, let's get DeRosa because he looked like he coached well at the WBC. I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, easy. That's fine. That's fine. Again, David Stearns, no matter if he hires the GM or not, David Stearns is making the final decisions. So, again, the next GM is going to be, bringing him his cup of coffee. Like, let's be honest about that. So I see it in a lot of different ways. Look, the Mets had 2 first-time. Now, again, the Mickey Callaway signing as manager, Terry Francona called the Mets and say he's a great choice. He's going to be a great manager. So if you're a GM or an organization and Terry Francona, who is well-respected within the game, a great manager, World Series manager, calls up your organization and says, hey, Mickey Callaway, he's the hot guy right now. You got to get him. He's good. I mean, it's hard to blame the Mets in that aspect because if Terry Francona says, hey, this guy is good, what are you going to tell Francona? Get out of here. You're crazy. No. I mean, we also found out that Mickey Callaway was a creep. That's on another story. But, Luis Rojas. Now, he was coaching in the minors. So I do like that whole aspect of bringing guys up that, throughout your system. The Braves done that with Snicker. He was managing in the minor leagues for a long time. And they noticed that he worked well with the younger players. And when he got to the majors and managed the Braves, all these young guys knew him. So there was a trust factor. There was a known factor. And that is something that I think is interesting. And they're showing the Philly fans leaving. Oh, top of the night, and the Philly fans are leaving. Ooh, Philly fans. How dare you? I know it's a Monday night. You got to get to work, but damn. I mean, it's 8 o'clock now. This game started, what, at 5? All right, Metro. Have a good day, buddy. Yeah, easy. Exactly. Like I said. Yeah, Mike, that's fine. But again, when Terry Francona calls your organization and says, hey, Mickey's the right guy for this job, he's going to be good, it's very hard as an organization to say no to, Terry Francona, like he don't know what he's talking about when Mickey Callaway was basically, in his dugout for a couple of years. So that's the way I see it. But again, well, explosive, you know what though? Again, it's hard to kill Cohen because he wasn't the owner yet. I think if Cohen was the owner of the team, Wheeler would have never been a Philly. He would have been a Met. So, we had the cheap bullpens at the time. What are you going to do? Right? It is what it is, but you know what? You can't change it. That's the crappy part about that. So Carroll just made a bunt and made a sacrifice to bring the runner to the third. Diamondbacks have a runner on third with 1 out, leading 5-1 in the top of the ninth. John Gibbons, yeah, well, I guess. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I know he's a former Met. He did okay with the Blue Jays. I don't know. I mean, would I be pissed off about it? No. He brings that experience, I guess. But again, I think it actually matters, like the demeanor as well. And again, I don't think John Gibbons is the type of guy that works well with with a front office to work together, partnership wise. I feel like John Gibbons wants to line up, wants to make his own decisions, and I don't think necessarily David Stearns wants that. He already says he wants a guy that works well together and a partnership. I don't know if John Gibbons is going to be the type of guy that's going to sit in an office with David Stearns in his analytical department and saying, all right, this is the lineup we want for today. This is the bullpen that we're going to use today. If this scenario happens, I don't think he's going to do it. Yeah, right wing. I understand that he's fiery, but that doesn't. Again, why do people are so fed up, so stuck on? Oh, he's fiery. He's not gonna take our guys getting hit. That doesn't mean he's a good manager. That's Aaron Boone is the most thrown out manager in baseball. Does that mean that he's a good manager? We all know he sucks. So he defends his players, but last time I checked, the Yankees haven't won a World Series. I just don't, he was thrown out the most this year, and the Yankees didn't make the playoffs. So a fiery manager, yeah, okay, that's great. It's aesthetics, right? It makes the fans feel good for that moment. It might make the players say, hey, this guy's behind us. But for a guy like Buck Showalter who didn't go crazy, you still heard the players telling the media, we're behind Buck. We love Buck. So, I mean, I see it as this, right? Baseball nowadays, it's not just the manager hiring the manager says, all right, go get him, right? Now it's the GM. It's the analytical department. They all work together now as a group. Guys like Gibbons, Girardi, probably Buck Showalter at this point, they don't want to be given a piece of paper and saying, all right, in the 7th inning, you got to use this bullpen arm if this situation comes up. If this batter is coming up, this pitcher needs to be in the game, right? This is the lineup that you need for today because this pitcher is on the mound, right? Those type of guys, there's no reason for David Stearns to need to deal with a manager like that that is always gonna, bump heads because he don't like something. It's just not how baseball works anymore. And the manager is not as important as he used to be, right? They don't make all the decisions pre-game like they've done in the past. It's just that simple. Yeah, I think the Philly situation really turned me off on Girardi. I love Joe Girardi before the Philadelphia situation. But after the Philadelphia situation, it just seemed like he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and I wouldn't necessarily trust that situation. Right wing, yeah, but you know what? Dave Roberts is a horrible in-game manager. So he might not challenge the front office, but he's a terrible in-game manager. I think he makes bad decisions, taking out guys at the wrong time, leaving guys in too long. I think that's a huge problem in games. Yeah, I don't like Roberts at all. I think he's a bad manager. Honestly, I think he is. I mean, this is a guy that constantly has probably the most talent. How many years in a row did the Dodgers have a top payroll and nobody spoke about them getting bounced from the playoffs? How many years in a row before they won the fake world championship? Right? Roberts still has his job because of the pandemic. Let's be honest about that. Yeah, but Mike, Buck Showalter had these guys accountable, right? You don't win 101 games in 2022 and not have guys accountable, right? I mean, I think we're too focused on you got to give you guys, make make the players accountable. You don't think they do that? Just because they don't tell you at the media doesn't mean that they don't do that behind closed doors. Easy, because he does make those decisions. He does. I'm sorry. You don't take certain pitches out in the fourth inning because a piece of paper tells you to all the time. There's a lot of times, and again, I'm one of those nutcases that like to listen to sports radio around the country. Like when teams like the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Rangers, the Astros are in the playoffs right now, I listen to their sports radio. And once the Dodgers got beat up by the Diamondbacks, I listened to sports radio in LA. And nobody, this is going on for a couple of years now. Dodger fans don't like Dave Roberts at all. They don't like him. They think he makes too many bad decisions, and it's a fact that he continues to make bad decisions. And I'm sorry, if you keep on failing year after year after year with talented rosters and top payrolls, even though the Dodgers weren't really top payrolls this year, they didn't really spend a lot of money, but in years past, they were top team in payroll, at least 1 and 2, over and over again. Yeah, well, easy. He just did it. He took out Kelly in, I think it was the fifth inning. I mean, it worked, right? It worked, so he looks like a genius. I guarantee you, if the Phillies came back in this ball game after they took out the Kelly, he would have got killed for it. So it's also a lot of luck involved as well, right? The Diamondbacks are 1 out away from making it a game 7. And guess who's on the mound for the D-backs? Paul Sewald. So we got Paul Sewald closing it out. And we're going to have Scherzer starting for the Rangers. What a lovely day. Right wing, I agree with you. 100% I agree with you. I'm sorry. If Buck Showalter can get fired after 2 years of having top payrolls, why can't Dave Roberts be? They win 100 games every year. Shouldn't they at least be in NLCS's World Series? At the least, NLCS's? Yeah, easy. I understand, but I'm not saying every decision is the manager's decision. But there is some that is his decision. And I'm sorry, there's not fans all over the place in LA that have been killing Dave Roberts over the last week and a half. Killing him. It just comes. And look, Dave Roberts, I know. Look, he reminds me of Don Mattingly. Don Mattingly is another garbage manager. So let's see. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Let me just put on the game. I apologize. And the Rangers are winning 1-0 already. Hold on, guys. Let me just change to, and I'll put on the game. Here we go.
Watching that thing fly out, no question about where it was headed. Into the second deck here in Houston. And speaking of hitting it hard, John, here comes Adolis Garcia. Who had a grand slam in the ninth inning yesterday to continue this roller coaster of a championship series. No doubt. And the right guys on first base. Look for the stolen base. Again, you've got to push the gas and take advantage when someone is not very good at holding runners and stolen bases. Look for Carter at some point in this inning developed. So a base yesterday, maybe to your point. Javier's given up 22 stolen bases and 25 tries this year. Focus right here, though, on the man.
So Texas has a 1-0 lead in the first. Seager home run.
I mean, have you ever seen a guy walk up to the plate wearing the golden sombrero and have been struck out 4 times and the crowd booing him the way it was, and then he unloads on a game-sealing grand slam? Well, he finally made a short stroke, and up until that point, everything was swinging from his heels. There goes Carter, swinging a miss. From Molinaro, not in time, and a stolen base for Carter. Well, by the swing and miss, that had to keep Maldonado back. He couldn't race up to go get the ball. He's got to wait back. And a great jump. Stolen base. Puts him in a scoring position for a guy in Adolis Garcia, who's knocked in 15 in this postseason. On 1-1 from Javier, Garcia fouls it back. He had one to hit there. You can tell emotionally, Garcia wants to hit the ball to the moon. And he tried that the first 4 times. But mechanically, he cannot afford huge swing after huge swing, especially if they're going to tap him at the top of the zone. As you can hear from these fans, he's taking on the role of the villain in this series. Villain in Houston, but he's turning into a legend for Rangers fans. Seager has already homered in this first inning. Carter's at second with 1 away as Javier brings a 1-2 to Adolis Garcia. 1-2. Javier has dominated in the postseason. 4 postseason starts in his career. He's won them all. And numbers that make you do a double take. Hitters are 5 for 70 against Javier in his starts in October. His 2-2 spins away, not close. Well, there are so many numbers that it's just dominant. I mean, 2, 3, 4 hitters all the way through. He has a gift, and that fastball is his gift. Right now, he's not commanding it as well as he should and throwing enough strikes. Here's his payoff. Garcia.
Oh, that's gone. Oh, hits the wall. 2-0 Rangers in the first inning. Garcia just missed the home run. Garcia has been killing it.
A good read to your point about Carter. He got on top of it. He thought it was gone. He's standing there now. That doesn't play well when you can be at second base. And again, this has been an emotional series for him, an emotional game 7. And he thought he had it.
Red winning, exactly.
It wasn't a guarantee.
Steven, awesome, buddy.
But it was a guarantee he wasn't going to get to second when he did that. John, what was it that Bruce Bochy said was the number one thing he wanted?
Easy, oh, Kelly? Nah, that's not going to happen.
Because he wanted to be able to have that leash a little longer. There goes Garcia. They're picking up Javier.
They are stealing bases off for Javier. And Javier has been good in the postseason, too. Well, Scherzer's already going to be working with a lead, though.
But that's what you have to do. And these are the moments right now that get exposed better than ever. And a one-game winner all go on to the World Series. Mitch Garver, the home run yesterday. 1 strike on the veteran DH. Look, I haven't been doing this for 20 years, but for the last 10 years, I've never seen crowds get taken out of ballparks like we've seen in this series. Every single crowd on the road side has taken out their home crowd because they've scored and they've taken something away from them. And Texas has done it really all postseason. They've won every single road game. How do you explain that? Unbelievable. 7-0 these Rangers are. The road team in this series, unbeaten. Throwing it back to the 2019 World Series. 2-2 on Garver. When you finished it up and he said, that will never happen again. Yeah, I mean, there's no chance. I said after Washington and Houston played an epic World Series and no home wins. I said,
Mike, why was that a mistake, though? Because Nola has been money in big games. Why would you want one of your best postseason guys? Oh, that ball fell. 3-0 Rangers. Wow. Oh boy.
Garcia finds himself in position to take advantage of that lapse in defense thanks to a stolen base. And everything going
like it was a closeout game for the Phillies. Why would you want Nola on now? Like you don't look at it as, oh, I'm gonna need him for game 7. You want Nola to close it out.
And Bradley's trying to charge hard and he can't get there and it hits off his shoulder and that allowed the runner to score. That's couldn't be a worse start for Houston.
Yeah, Mike, you ain't kidding.
With the pitcher they have on the mound. Because now it's getting very difficult for Dusty Baker to trust his stud in the first inning, and it's 3-0. Yeah, keep in mind on that play there, one of the decisions for Dusty Baker was who to play in center field. He let Chas McCormick over Mauricio Dubon, who is the better defensive center fielder. McCormick, on what looked like a routine fly ball, didn't even get close to it. They've got the bullpen going.
Bullpen warming up for the Astros.
Well, he reads it perfectly, and at this point, once it bounces away, easy wave in. But the throw coming home allowed the runner to go to second. Another mistake. And right now, Houston's got to find a way to get 2 more outs. Officially rolled a single for Garver. Advances on the throw. Here's Hine. John, you talk about
explosive. That's not true. Because throwing at Garcia basically helped them win that game in Texas.
Have combined for 7 hits down at the bottom of the order, including 2 home runs last night. I mean, it's really, again, it's almost expect the unexpected in this series. Guys get cold, don't think that bottom of the lineup could do anything. And then the 2 home runs the opposite way. Red, I love the stat that there were only 2 parts that would have hit the home runs, but guess what? This was one of them. It was his first opposite field home run of the year. And the Rangers offense, the top offense in the American League, one of the things that has made them such is how they tailor their plan, line up wide to whoever they're facing.
No, Mike, but Suarez, if he has his stuff, he can be dangerous, and that's another base hit. Wow. First and third, 1 out.
In 4 postseason starts coming into this game in his career, Christian Javier had given up 5 hits. He's given up 4 in the first inning here. Yeah, and I'll say this.
And Baker's taking Javier out. This is shocking because Javier has been basically their best pitcher in the postseason. And he just doesn't have it tonight. It's just, Yeah, I understand that, Mike. But again, Nola has been great in the postseason for the Phillies. You put him in a game where it can decide, where you can clinch it and go to the World Series. So I don't see it like that. Like, you can't hold somebody for game 7 that not necessarily is going to happen. I mean, if you put Suarez in, you could say, oh, well, you're giving up game 6 because you didn't pitch one of your better pitchers. Doesn't make sense. You don't worry about game 7 when game 6 can be a clincher. That doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not going to hold back Nola and pitch Suarez. If you don't think Suarez is a good pitcher, then why would you pitch him in a game 6 where you win that game and go into the World Series? You know, look at Nola today. He didn't have it today. What if you saved him for game 7 and he didn't have it? Yeah, exactly, Mike. That's what I'm saying. Like, Javier's been their best postseason starter. I mean, who wouldn't want him in game 7? If somebody told you, if somebody put up a poll, who do you want pitching in game 7 for the Astros? I guarantee you Javier would probably be number 1 for a lot of the Astros fans, because he's been that good. He has under a 2 ERA prior to today in the playoffs. That's pretty damn good. But if you don't have it today, what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to question Baker for putting in Javier? Doesn't make sense. Well, Diamond, exactly. Nola has been clutch in the playoffs. He had a bad start. But you know what? The Phillies do live on to play another day, right? Everybody's going to be able to pitch tomorrow, right? Wheeler, it's his bullpen day tomorrow. So if Suarez gets in trouble, Wheeler can probably go 30, 40 pitches. Oh, yeah. Faft is going to be, if he's pitching tomorrow, he shut down the Phillies. So, Mike, again, this is what happens in the playoffs. Your 4th and 5th starters usually don't pitch. It's usually your top 3, because with the days off, you can recycle those 3 guys. It's just how it is. Yeah, Diamond, Faft is better than Suarez, but if Suarez got that nasty breaking stuff going on, he's hard to hit. All right. 3-0 Rangers, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Javier is already taken out of the game.
It's a good postseason. He's pitched in 5 games. Giving up a run. Moving 1, 2, 3 in the last night. From the bottom of the lineup here. Starters at 3rd, Hines at 1st. It's on 0-2. All right. It's definitely a shock to the system, but the one thing about the
Easy, I don't know. He's been in the dugout. I don't think he's necessarily been in the bullpen.
And they can put, this has been a series of the,
but I wouldn't be shocked if you see Walker. I mean, I wouldn't. Would you put in a pitcher that hasn't pitched in like 9 days, 10 days? I don't know. That's risky. Well, Steven, I think that's the point. And again, it's not like Suarez, you need him to go 6 innings, right? Everybody's available that didn't pitch yesterday, most likely. Like, the only one that's probably not available tomorrow is Nola. I mean, yeah. So, and that's a strikeout, 2 outs. Yeah, exactly, Mike. But most of the time, your 4th and 5th starter, maybe you get your 4th starter in a 7-game series, but most of the time you can go with your top 3 because of the days off.
One of those chalk it up reverse trends, I guess you could say. 2 on 2 out for the rookie Josh.
So 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Texas leads 3-0 in the 1st inning. Christian Javier was taken out after just not having it today.
Yeah, because you don't know how and who's going to come out and deliver under the moment. It's on to Young. Young started that 5-9th inning last
Easy. Do you really think that he's – here's the difference right now. This is where Bochy's in a really good spot. There are 3 runs right now. Say if it stays 3 runs going into the bottom of the 1st. All right, let's see what he does here. Let's say if it's 3 runs going to the bottom of the 1st. If Scherzer gets in trouble, like giving up 1 or 2 runs, I'd be shocked if he goes another inning. Bochy's not with all the pitches that he's going to have available. There's no reason to keep Scherzer in the game if he doesn't look good. And Himes steals second, so second and third, 2 outs for the Rangers. Yeah, Mike, exactly. Suarez can go 3, but like I said earlier, tomorrow is Wheeler's bullpen day, so he can throw 30 to 40 pitches in this game. And Matan strikes out Jung to end the inning, but not before the Texas Rangers scored 3 in the first. And there's Max Scherzer coming on the mound with a 3-0 lead. Again, you know what this reminds me of? The Atlanta Braves game where the Mets went out to a lead, and then Scherzer bring it right back. And what about Boston this year? I was there. Mets went out to a lead, and then Scherzer gave it up. Yeah, Mike, I think that's a situation where Esparza's probably got that job in his back pocket if Baker retires. But I tell you right now, I wouldn't be mad if the Mets hire Esparza if they can. So we're going to the bottom of the first. Texas lead 3-0 against the Astros. Christian Javier had nothing, and he was pulled out after 1 out in the inning. Easy. That's an interesting thing that you brought up, Easy. I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know, but Kimbrel was in there in the 8th, and he pitched a decent amount of pitches. I mean, you want to talk about how good Rob Thompson's been? That might be a bad move for Rob Thompson, putting in Kimbrel for as long as he did. I think it was maybe 30-something pitches, if I'm not mistaken. So, if he's needed tomorrow, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, Mike, that's true. Mike Montero side, and maybe. You think Scherzer's coming back next season? Absolutely. He's not going to, not come back and have $40 million in his pocket. You got to be on drugs to not accept that. Come back next year. Of course he's come back. He can blow out his arm and still be back next year. All right, so here we go. The bottom of the first. Astros need to make a comeback against Scherzer. Remember, in the first game Scherzer pitched against the Astros, he had a good first inning, and then it completely unraveled from there for him. So let's see if the Astros can come back against Scherzer.
Max Scherzer injured his shoulder on September 12th, and the initial report was that he was probably done for the year. He proved everyone wrong and came back for Game 3 of the.
All right, guys, I'll be right back. Listen up.
And he feels like, John, the biggest question is how is he going to pitch? That's winning over this Game 7. Yeah, so he's recovered. Check 1. He's thrown his bullpen. Check 2. Now can he get more comfortable to the rhythm of pitching? Greets him with a high-line drive to the left field corner that brings off the wall. Instant offense from Talkin in the second of the leadoff double. Literally dented the wall. He broke it. Yeah, that's one of those store panels, and he ironically hit the bottom of the first. And he just wants it hit. Now a 3-0 lead. You don't want to get a false sense of security if you're Max Scherzer. You still have to make pitches against this really, really good offensive team in Houston. Alex Rickman. Curveball misses. What is it you're looking for when you're looking at different pitches from Scherzer? The curveball, he's always got good touch for. It's the slider, and it doesn't back up. He made some pitches with sliders that cost him last game. If he has his slider, he'll have a good game. On this one, he rides a fastball inside. 2-0. They're going to one swing and miss on his slider. Now, the fastball, the velocity was there. In fact, it was one of his highest velocities he's had all year. It was kind of touch and go. It was really what you should expect. When a playoff start takes the place of a rehab start, does it essentially go for maxing the dead? There's a good cutter right there. Yeah, that's a good pitch right there because it takes the pressure off his fastball. He's going to pitch low on his own. His counterpart is going to pitch up on his own. His counterpart's no longer in the game. So he wants to, by staying in the game, he throws strikes.
And just like that, Scherzer gives up leadoff double.
He's got to be able to have the hitters respect the slide. Here's his 2-1 to Alex Bregman. It's 10 foul. Already much better action on that pitch. You know he went to work in the bullpen to try to mechanically get locked in. Fastballs you can get away without being perfect mechanics. You cannot get away with a slider or curveball without having proper mechanics. The guy at the plate that can punish if he does make a mistake. 18 postseason home runs for Alex Bregman. On this 2-2 from Scherzer. Pulls him to short for Corey Seager. Soft hands. Well, that is a bigger than out than you can imagine because not only did they not advance the runner, he got it out. And when you can give him 3 runs, the adrenaline and the emotion of pitching in a game 7, it starts actually getting more nervous. You know why? Because you prepare yourself for a 0-0 game through as long as you pitch. You get 3 in the first, you're like, uh-oh, I got to hold that. Okay, here we go. It shifts the mentality a little bit. Yordan Alvarez has had 5 consecutive multi-hit games. So you got a 3-run lead. How does that affect the way you're pitching when you're with the base open? Well, that's a good luxury, right? But still, you have to make sure that this guy doesn't beat you. If the count gets out of your hands, you walk him. Real careful trying to battle back. Very good he does. Scherzer had a hard time with him, as most have. On to Alvarez. Takes ball 3.
Scherzer's just missing on the outside corner there. He's staying away from Yordan Alvarez. And why not? Alvarez just spent money. And they just intentionally walked Alvarez for Jose Abreu, who's been very good this postseason.
I mean, every hitter's dangerous, but right now, you know the most dangerous hitter is on first base. That's been one of the most transformative things for this lineup the last month and a half into the postseason. Is Abreu has found it, but he so often has traffic when he does. More RBIs than any player in the American League since the start of September. Abreu, 36 years of age, out of Cuba. His 10th season, 1 win away from his first World Series. His first year in Houston. Takes a fastball down the chute. This is eerily similar to our first game 7 I ever pitched on the road in Pittsburgh. First and second after getting 3 runs in the first. And bats like hit what I thought was game-time home run that caught at the wall. It allowed me to reset my brain and go, okay, that was their scoring chance. Now get back to pitching. Because that 3-run kind of surprises you. It's like, whoa, now I've got a lead.
Oh, that's a fair ball. Oh, that's 1 run. RBI single for Abreu. First and third, 1 out. 3-1 Texas. And come on, guys. You really thought Scherzer was going to hold on to this lead? Come on. Right down the middle was that slider. What else is new? Oh, that slider.
Because you talked about the early starts the road teams have had. There have been no quick responses from the home teams. Astros have one here in Game 7. We've got the tie on the board and Michael Brantley at the plate.
That's a double play ball. Yes, it is. 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Scherzer gives up 1 run in the first. But, again, it's 1 run. You already see the Astros hitting them hard. Every ball was hit hard. Even that ground ball, the second was hit hard. So, again, Scherzer had a 1-2-3 first in his first outing. And then it unraveled from there. So, again, the Astros are already hitting them hard. So, I think if the Astros hold the Rangers to 3 runs, I think the Astros will come back against Scherzer. So, if you guys don't know, the Arizona Diamondbacks won 5-1 against the Phillies, taking the Phillies to a Game 7. And it looks like it's going to be Fat against Suarez in Game 7. Yeah, easy. Me too. Brantley usually takes a lot of pitches, but that pitch he swung at was right. That was a hanging slider. He just missed it. He got on top of it. So Rangers leading 3-1, going to the top of the second again. I'll probably be with you guys until like the 5th or 6th inning or so, depending on how it goes. I do got work, so I just wanted to basically be on for the Scherzer stuff. Put it this way: once Scherzer is out of the game, we'll see how it goes. I'll put it that way. So hopefully everybody is having a good night, and I'm assuming if you're a Giants fan, you're probably happy with the win that basically, saved your season for at least another week. Next week is going to be fun, Giants and Jets. I know my dad is pumped up and most of my family. I'm rooting for the Jets because I don't like the Giants at all. So as a Cowboys fan, but and I think the 49ers and the Vikings are starting if it hasn't started already. Ooh, excuse me, guys. I'm sorry about that. It's been a long day. And the Vikings are winning 7-0. Addison with the touchdown. Niners have been a little bit vulnerable. Oh, yeah, I agree with that, Easy. And Fafat had has been better than Gallen. So, but yeah, he definitely looks like he got better stuff than Gallen. So we're just waiting for the commercial to end, and then the the Rangers are going to be coming up in the top of the second. Rangers lead 3-1. 4 runs scored in the first inning. Again, Christian Javier did start the game, but was pulled in the first inning for not doing anything good. And Dusty Baker looking like he's doing a bullpen now. Matten came in for Javier, and now Hunter Brown is in the game for the second inning for the Astros.
Shows it right there. That's right. I imagine this is going to be great for him in the future. He wants to do the best he can in this game and see how he handles the tension of his fastball in the strike zone. 25-year-old rookie out of Detroit fires an 1-1 pitch. Dips low on Tavares. Starter during the regular season, had some good stretches. Struggled down the stretch, though, and has worked out of the bullpen in this postseason for Dusty Baker. Still no built up to give him some life, which they desperately need tonight. Top of the order after Tavares.
See if the Astros can hold them to 3 here. Get that offense back up there against Scherzer.
Brown kicks and fires a 3-1 pitch.
Well, that's a right to Pena. 1 out.
How about this, John? The D-backs have forced a Game 7 in Philadelphia. Yeah, I'll tell you what, the D-backs have forced a lot of people to take a look at what they're doing. Can you believe it? I mean, they're in a position to shock the world, and they don't think it's a shock. So you got Game 7, Diamondbacks and Phillies on TBS tomorrow. Friday is going to be the start of the World Series, and we got no idea who it's going to be or where it's going to be. Nope. Who saw that coming with both series beginning 2-0? As Marcus Semien takes side, this is the 4th time in 39 years of this current format where both championship series are 7-game series. The 4th time that both championship series go the distance. Semien started this game with a ground out to short.
It should be a fly ball. 2 outs. Easy. Minnesota Stadium, I think you're talking about the Twins. My favorite ballpark. The the way it looks, the outer part. I'm always big on the outside of the stadium, which is around the stadium. What you can do around the stadium, and the way it looks around there, and it's awesome. It's probably top 2 for sure. So I've been to 13 stadiums. It's one of my favorites. Target Field is awesome. The food is outstanding there. I mean, I must have tried about 13 things, and I wish I could name all of them, but I don't remember a lot of them. But I remember trying like 3 different things for each of the games I went to. Viking Stadiums was cool. I got to tell you, obviously I've been to MetLife. That's like a tin can. The Viking Stadium, US Bank Stadium is pretty cool. The outside, what they do for like the setup is really cool. But yeah, the inside is really nice as well.
This is a key pitch. This will tell you if he's locked in. If he swings outside the zone to get a hit, then not so much.
And Seager got his second hit, and that's going to be a double. So Seager is hot. So Seager has a home run and now a double in the first 2 innings.
Look at this. This is where the hands got to get on top of that baseball. The velocity sometimes beating these hitters, but tonight he's been on top of 2 of them, and now a double. And when you can split the outfielders on an opposite field, you know you've hit it pretty good. In a scoring position with 2 gone for Evan Carter.
I agree, Mike. I do apologize if my voice is a little cracking. I got a cold, and it's really annoying right now. So I apologize if I sound a little off.
Max sounded proud. I'm telling you right now. What's that thing you wear on your wrist? A Fitbit or whatever that's called? Yeah, I've got the Okay, so I would love, most pitchers sit down. I would love to know the steps that Max is going to take. He will not slow down at all. I like to sit and rest. He is going to be, like you said, on the prowl. On his dual pitch. That's a strike. It's funny, we saw him after the game last night. He was getting taken out of the golf. He already had
not easy. All that money that he's put into that MetLife Stadium. Yeah. You would think that stadium's like 40 years old. I honestly don't like going to football games. I think the experience is kind of to be honest. I like watching football better on TV. I think baseball is a lot more interesting in person than on TV. And that ends the inning. So the Rangers do not score. Hunter Brown comes in and gets a scoreless inning. Max Scherzer coming back on the mound in the bottom of the second, 3-1 Rangers. So once again, guys, once Scherzer comes out of the game, there's a pretty good chance I'll probably end the stream. Andre, no, I have not. I was planning on going when the Jets faced the Cowboys in week 2 with my dad. Unfortunately, my dad couldn't go, and I didn't want to go without my dad. So I haven't been there yet. But I plan on doing that. If it's not this year, it'll definitely be next year because the Mets face the Texas Rangers in Arlington next year. So at the very least, I would like to check out the stadium, at least outside. But because I think the Rangers play the Mets play the Rangers in June, so there won't be no football. So, but I have heard that the stadium's insane. Yeah, Andre, I might do the tour. I definitely will probably do the tour because in June the Mets are going to London to face the Phillies. So my plan is because the Mets play in London, I think a week and a half before they go to Texas. So my plan is to take a 2-week stretch where I'll go to London to watch the Mets and the Phillies, and then I'll fly from London and then fly to Texas. I think that's the plan. At least that's my plan for now. Andre, I definitely will. So I definitely going to be doing a lot of flying in June next year for sure. That's a guarantee. Because I already booked my hotel and flight for London for the London series with against the Phillies. So that's going to be fun for sure. The Europe trip, which I'll probably be there about 3 days before the Mets and Phillies play. So I can, I'm probably going to, check out London a little bit, but I'm going to take the train to the surrounding countries just to hang out for do like a couple of hours in each country. So it's going to be a lot of late nights for sure. But yeah, that's my plan, to go to London for about 5-6 days, fly to Texas for the Mets and Rangers, probably stay there about 4 days, and then fly back to New York. So it'll probably be about 9 days or so. The flight to London is about 6.5 hours, I believe. I think it's 6.5 hours. But the flight to London, if there is a direct flight to Texas, it's probably about 12, maybe.
Find his swing before time runs out. First pitch swinging, fly by the left field. And routine for Evan Carter. So Max Scherzer, who has been all over the place. He's with his 4th different team in 3 seasons. Won his World Series with the Nationals in 2019. Got traded to the Dodgers.
So London to Texas is about 10.5 hours.
He's traded over to the Rangers at the deadline this year. Guy's got 3 Cy Youngs.
Ray Ring says go Arsenal. I'm a Tottenham fan, so go Spurs. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to check out a soccer game for sure, depending on how much time I have. So yeah, the flight from New York to London, I think, is like 6.5 hours. It's like from New York to Los Angeles, basically. Except this time I'm crossing the Atlantic. What's up, John? John, I'm with you. Yeah, right when I saw. Tottenham's been pretty good. They got rid of they lost Kane, and they actually played better. Interesting, because Kane did go to Bayern Munich. So got some Arsenal fans in here. My best friend is an Arsenal fan.
Staffs are going to have to deal with what you call a very tight zone. It has been called very tight advantage hitters.
So Rangers are leading 3-1 in the bottom of the second. 1 out in the second. Scherzer is on the mound still. 18 pitches for him.
3 balls and a strikeout chance for McCormick. Here it comes. McCormick.
Ball 4. Just off the plate.
Second one gives you by Scherzer. Good morning, Scherzer. Down to Ken Rosenthal.
Edinburgh, Scotland. I'm going to put that on my list. I actually got my list. The things I'm going to do in London, actually. I was doing I just booked my London trip today. And I was writing down the things to do in London. So I'm going to put that on there. Edinburgh, Scotland. Edinburgh, Scotland. All right. Hell's my pen. Yeah. Andre, that's a good question. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think it matters because I think Stern's going to make all the moves anyway. Oh, the capital of Scotland. Okay.
It's a little more than a month since injured his shoulder. A little more than a month, and they said he was strong.
Right ring, I agree.
There's one on to Pena. Runner goes on a foul back. And McCormick got a good job.
Scherzer's throwing hard, 95.
24 postseason starts with 5 different teams. So I don't know what he was so mad about in LA. That pitch in for manager on the other side tonight, Dusty Baker. He's a skipper in Washington. Dusty loves to go onto the mound and look at his pitcher's eyes. He said, that's where you find the answer if a guy can keep going on. He's looking at Max and he says, Max, which eye do I look at? And Max said, the brown one. The brown one's the baseball eye. Dusty nodded. Walk back into the dugout, let him keep going. There's the runner going again. Throw from behind.
And that's a stolen base. Runner in score position with 1 out.
Got to take advantage of little things, and you can't be afraid to use your aggression. Started to slide a little early, but he got there. That was face plant. 2-2 on Pena. Here comes Scherzer.
Oh, and he strikes out Pena on a high fastball.
Here for his first K. That was a rare fastball up that he expanded the zone. Kind of an upshoot fastball, and this is the part of the lineup that has got to be taken care of. Look, this guy certainly does his job with the pitchers Maldonado, but he has been in the center of a lot of runs when he does something at the plate. Yeah, just kind of a thorn in their side of the series. He had the 2-run single against Scherzer's first start, but he's got hit by a pitch. He's walked a few times, and it always feels like it comes in a big spot. Scherzer home with an 0-1. Check swing and a ball inside, but he went around his last down to first. So Mark Ripper, that pitch now the second time he's got the strike, even though it wasn't called. He got a called strike against McCormick, but that's the pitch that he needs to just create some separation between everything else being firm. That curveball is coming out of a different kind of sight line for the hitter because everything else comes out of the fastball, the hard slider and cutter. So that pitch is going to be more effective the more he throws it. Scherzer trying to bully his way out of this chance. 0-2.
And he strikes out Maldonado. So scoreless inning for Scherzer. 3-1 Rangers. Going to the top of the third. So Scherzer looking a little solid in the second. But still a 2-run lead for the Rangers. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be my plan. Like I said, I usually try to map out my my plans for like where I'm going next season to see the Mets on the road. It's definitely gonna be Texas, London, Chicago against the White Sox. Yeah, most likely the White Sox. And I usually will always do a Philly trip, and maybe I'll go back down to Washington next year. We'll see. Easy. Yeah, I heard about that. I think it was like right after the season. I think what the hell was it? It was I think it was a partially torn UCL. I think that's what it was. Let me see. Let me Google that real quick. Let's see. Yeah, that's what it is. It's been diagnosed with a partial UCL tear. And that was basically almost the ending of the season. So that's something that hopefully it's not going to become an issue next year, right? He's not going to have surgery on it. So, yeah. Well, you know what? Pena was the was one of their best offensive players last year in the postseason. He had a down offensive season this year, but he's still young, so long way to go. Right wing, yeah, that's true, but I mean, yeah, I still don't trust Scherzer. Again, I don't think he's going to go more than 4 innings anyway, to be honest with you. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in for Game 7. The reason why I did this stream is because Scherzer was doing Game 7. Maybe tomorrow, depending on, I don't know what time the Game 7 tomorrow is for the Phillies. I would like to do at least half of that game. Easily because he's not a pitcher. And a partially torn UCL, if you do a couple of, certain therapy, it might be straightening up that ligament a little bit. So I don't think he's going to have it. It doesn't make sense. I think it's 8 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow it's 8 o'clock, so I probably can't do that live game tomorrow.
He plays in 3 games for the Rangers. They put him on waivers, which means anybody else could have him. None of the other 29 teams wanted him, so he comes back to Texas. He's been an all-star twice in 3 years, and if the Rangers win Game 7, he might be the MVP.
Yeah, very well. Could be. Certainly the center of attention for a different way, but it's a big part of why they won that game last night.
2 balls and 2 strikes on.
You can make the argument that grand slam obviously broke the game open. It was a 2-run lead at the time. So many contributing factors could have still played into that game, and it was all over in one swing of the bat.
We'll be talking about it as this game goes on if it's tight, because it meant they got to get Leclerc out. Having pitched just 1 inning instead of 2.
Yep, easy. Yes, it does.
With the exception of Vivaldi. Everybody else in play. This is like Nelson Cruz for the most RBIs in one postseason. Last of the back-to-back pennants for Texas. Garcia starts the 3rd and drives on the down the line.
Goodbye. And Garcia hits a home run, 4-1 Rangers. This guy is going to be the ALCS MVP if the Rangers win. 6th postseason home run. Having a Murphy type of postseason. I have easy.
This might be one of the best at-bats of his career. 2 fastballs painted away for strikes. He took a couple, and then the same fastball away. That's a very good pitch that he just hit like a left-hander, hooking it down the line. I mean, we didn't see any of that yesterday. We saw a guy swinging as hard as he could, and so far tonight, we've seen a much different Texas lineup. Discipline and short to the ball. That's why they have the lead right now.
He's homered in 4 consecutive games. 2-0 on Garver. Dolis Garcia. Growing up, thought he was going to be a wrestler. He didn't choose baseball until he was a teenager because his brother, his dad, started the Cuban League, and he said, okay, this wrestling thing is fun, but it looks pretty cool what Dad and Big Girl were doing as well. 3-0.
I'm just telling you, these are the moments in the postseason you never can predict. That at bat will be the best at bat he's ever had. He did not swing at those pitches away, and then the pitcher went right back to the place where he thought he painted and lost it in the stands.
Yeah, easy. That was the pandemic playoffs, Rose Arena.
So 2 home runs for the Rangers already, and 5 in the 2 games since the series has shifted back here to Houston. Okay. bounce payoff.
Strike 3.
Looks like a bit of a cross up there.
Well, I just think he was trying to throw it around the ball right away. But look at this swing right here on the pitch away. He just goes to that part of the field. I mean, that one he knew was completely gone. The other one he was hoping was gone, and of course hit off the wall.
If you're a Rangers fan, obviously you're smiling watching him. If you're anything other than an Astros fan, how do you not smile watching Adolis Garcia play baseball? What a gift. That smile and that swing. His last 3 at-bats, he's what? 5 feet away from 3 for 3 with 3 homers.
Yeah. High.
1-2.
Baseball is so unique. It's so hard to stay locked in forever at the plate. You go through peaks and valleys, you struggle, you don't see it, you get days off. And this Texas team, again, they struggled big time on the fastball. And tonight, I talk about vision, being locked in a tunnel. Their hitters are in a tunnel right now. Whatever they worked on, collectively taking advantage of pitches that they have been missing for most of the series.
Another 0-2 to Heim is down to 2. Trying to ride that team-wide approach to the first World Series appearance in 12 years. Heim tries to lay off the ball in the middle. The Rangers haven't been to the playoffs in 7 years, haven't been this far in 12 years. They've never won it all. It looked like once again it was going to be the Astros standing in the way of the rest of the American League, and it still may be. Here in Game 7, 4-1 Rangers in the third. Count it high.
And that World Series you're talking about couldn't have been a bigger heartbreak. I mean, just the improbable way that they lost, and then the excitement about this year being up 2-0, and then the improbable way that they lost in Game 5 to force a Game 7.
Charles, I think we all wish that.
Look at the grass there. Michael's up number 2. We go down to the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Tom Verducci.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Hey, the changes the Rangers made on the fastball was apparent from the very first swing of the night. It was an out, but watch the swing of Simeon. Watch the top hand. Watch the low finish. You will see the same thing on all 4 swings on fastballs. This is called getting on top of the baseball. Top hand covers it. Finish is lower. The parade of pop-ups that we saw in Arlington has absolutely stopped. And a lot of that had to do with facing Javier a second time. Hitting coach Johnny Acker told me, he told his guys, we are going to have to swing as if the baseball is 3 baseballs higher coming in. That's because of the high late life on that fastball. It's also because Javier is just a 2-pitch guy. Take away the fastball, he had nowhere else to go.
Well, I mean, yeah, true, Mike. You could say tippy cap to Chris Young, but he signed DeGrom, which is a disaster. He traded for Scherzer, that at the moment has been a disaster. But he did sign Seager and Simeon, but you got to remember he signed them prior to last year, and they didn't make the playoffs last year. So, but I think Bochy has been a big deal. Why the Rangers have been so good.
Here's 2-1. Take strike 2.
I think Bochy has more to do with it than probably what Chris Young has done player-wise. And strikes him out. So Adolis Garcia hits a solo home run to make it 4-1, going to the bottom of the third. Yeah, easy. We need to hit an international signing like Garcia. Yeah, I mean, but if you listen to the broadcast, the Rangers also put him on waivers a couple of years ago, and nobody took him. And he went back to the minor league system of the Rangers, and now we turn into this. So it's not like the Rangers knew what they had. And again, Francisco Alvarez was an international free agent. That's a 35 home run guy. So we'll see. Again, Yamamoto might be. Kodai Senga was an international free agent, international signing. Not in the international signing where you use the international pool money, but again, Adolis Garcia wasn't a guy the Rangers thought is a no-brainer. Again, they put him on waivers a couple of years ago, and every other team could have had him, and nobody took him, and he ended up back in the Rangers system. So the Rangers didn't know what they had either. How about the Dodgers trading Yordan Alvarez when he was in the minors to the Astros many years back? And look what he turned into. So, and that's the same regime that everybody loves. So it's a lot of hit and misses. I think it's a lot of risk. A lot of I think it's more like, a crapshoot when it comes to that. Mike, I think that's more where you can look at the Rangers and talk about the young players. Their young players stepped up. Because, you can talk about the acquisitions all you want, the trades, the big sign-ins. The sign-ins are nice and all, but they did sign to DeGrom to a massive deal, and he pitched, 4 games? Traded for Scherzer, who has 11 ERA. The young kids is why the Rangers are here. And that's a good point, Mike. No, Andre, exactly. Drafted and signed is not an exact science. And again, let's not act like the Rangers, are like a low-budget team here. They spent a ton of money. So for all the people that keep on saying, big payrolls don't matter, they do, right? You get the anomaly once every 15 years, 20 years, a team like the Arizona Diamondbacks that don't have a high payroll that might sneak into a World Series and maybe win it. But that doesn't happen often. Usually the team that wins the World Series is top 10 in payroll. Again, go back to the last time a team that won the World Series wasn't in the top 10 in payroll. All right, so 4-1 Texas, bottom of the third, Altuve leading off. I would be happy for DeGrom, but I still rather see the Astros win because everybody hates the Astros.
This postseason, get the best 5G coverage in the game with T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network.
I know it's stating the obvious, but in the postseason game, Game 7, get leadoff hitters off the bases. It's huge. When they rarely start, the crowd's trying their best to get back in it. When it gets super loud and you're on the road, that means there's a lot of people on base. Right now, Max is going to be as determined as ever to keep that from happening.
What you didn't say was the finish to what happened in that start in 91 where you thought you'd give up the home run to the outside.
Exactly, Mike.
You didn't give up a run the rest of the game. Complete game shutout. And so you look at the first inning, he gives up 1, but he strands 2.
That double play was huge. And Max will have the same mentality. He knows he can't go 9, but in his mind, he's going to go and as far as he can. And when you have scoring opportunities that the other team doesn't get, in your mind, you go, that's it. That's the last chance they have to score.
Some guys might even say it out loud.
So, yeah, Texas is 4th in payroll. Philly is 5th. Houston is 7th. And, yeah, Arizona's 21st. So,
he's not just taking steps. He's talking to himself.
Yeah, Andre, I did hear that about that story.
You can't do what he's done in his career if you don't have that mentality that I'm better than you. Even when he's less than 100%, if the pitcher on the mound feels like he has that bulldog, I'm better than you, it bodes well for a guy with his kind of stuff.
Well, in the all-time strikeout list in the postseason, you're destroying the 9th postseason game.
How did I not get one more?
Come on, man. 2-2.
And Bregman hits a shot. That might be gone. And it's gone. Solo home run for Alex Bregman. 4-2 Texas. Oh, hanging slider for Scherzer once again. I don't know. He might need the dirt to cake up in his cleat so it can be heavier as he made that excuse when he was still with the Mets. Must be the fake rain. Another hanging slider by Scherzer. Alvarez up. Oh, it was a fastball right over the middle. But that fastball was only 93 miles an hour. He started off with 96 in the first 2 innings. So it dropped off 3 miles an hour.
That's a risky catch reaching out over the railing. No catch will ever compare. I don't think a fan of the one we saw last year. It'll be the poster child for all fans trying to.
Yeah, Alien, but you know what? I dislike Scherzer so much that as much as I would like to see DeGrom get a ring, even though he didn't really do nothing to earn that ring, all the years that he was a great pitcher for the Mets and they never put anything around him, I just don't. I don't want Texas to do it. I want the Astros to beat the Rangers because everybody hates the Astros, and Astros just keeps on throwing it in people's faces. So. Yeah, Andre, I said it. I'd be shocked if he goes past 4 innings. Oh.
When you pull your change up, it doesn't have the effect, and that's where Alvarez made it feel like that cannot be in that area. Max wanted that fading away to the outside part of the plate. Foul, straight back, fastball again. Now maybe they could go to the back door curveball if he wants.
Jordan Montgomery is warming up for the Rangers, so not shocked by that. I don't even think Scherzer is going to get through the third.
So having to work here against the monstrous, ever intimidating Jordan Alvarez. His 7th pitch.
Uh-oh. That might be gone. Oh, he misses it. That's going to be a double. Oh, he's going for 3. Alvarez gets a triple. Oh, ho, ho. Here we go. Here we go. Tying run coming to the plate. Good old Scherzer. Oh, how I remember you. Honestly, that was a good pitch. Alvarez that was a good piece of hitting. That ball's in the right-hander's batter's box. So it wasn't a bad pitch, but still, that was a slider that I can catch up to. Watch Abreu hit a home run to tie the game.
This guy is unreal. He really is. And again, give him credit. He can still run too. For a big man, hitting at third, less than 2 outs. It's a huge deal when you're down by 2.
Infield's going to creep in now for Bruce Bochy. Scherzer's 0-1. Abreu.
Oh, nice slider. That was the best curveball that Scherzer's thrown.
Normally when you have the infield brought in, you want your pitcher out of the stretch, but there's no doubt that Banks feels better out of the windup executing his pitches, because when you're in the windup, the runner can get a little bit further down the line if the contact plays on, which means as soon as contact, break it home.
Turf is 0-2. Chopper to third. That won't get the job done. Young tosses across for a big second out.
Might be it for Max.
And it will be.
Yep. Bochy's taking on Max Scherzer, guys. So 2 2/3, 2 runs. Scherzer is responsible for the runner at third. So he gets 2 2/3 innings, 2 runs. So Scherzer didn't do exactly what they needed him to do, to be honest. You get 4 runs in the first 3 innings. I mean, that should be enough insurance. So the Astros will have a runner on third with 2 outs, 4-2 Rangers. Again, after this, the Astros finish up their bottom of the third, I will call it a stream, guys. Just really curious to see how Scherzer was going to do. He did a okay performance, nothing special. Didn't put up zeros. 2 out of the 3 innings he pitched. Well, 2 1/3 he pitched. He gave up runs. So it's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. And just think, guys. Just think. It's a game 7, and both of these teams are going to bullpens already. Pitching's just not the same as it used to be. You got, Lovolo taking out Kelly in the 5th when he just took out Harper and Schwarber and pitching well. The D-backs won, so he looks like a genius. But if they would have lost that game, it would have been because he took out Kelly. Mike, I agree. Oh, yeah, Andre, it's going to be a complete disaster for Scherzer next year. Guaranteed. So once the inning ends for the Astros, I'll call it a stream, guys. I do appreciate you guys hanging out for a couple of innings to watch Scherzer kind of slowly give up the lead here. How many innings? Maybe 120. I don't know. I'll check real quick. Let's see. Let's see. He pitched 152 innings. So we got to remember, he missed about 6 weeks in total as a Met and 6 weeks with the Rangers. So, yeah. Well, Pantries, that's not true. They're going to have to spend. They need 3 rotation arms, a whole new bullpen. That alone, you can't do all that with trades. You got to spend money. But, yeah, oh, yeah, he's not retiring, Alien. All right, Jordan Montgomery's in the game for the Rangers. Man on third, 2 outs, 4-2 Rangers. Brantley up.
Downstairs, last pitch on Friday is the game 5 starter. 2 runs over 5 in the third. After 6 of the third scoreless innings in game 1.
Well, he's had all postseason, really the last 5 starts. Really good feel for all his pitches, especially that breaking ball. He'll be in to get these left-handers out, and who knows how much longer.
Oh, line drive right at Seager. All right, guys, so that's the end of the third. Scherzer gives up 2 runs in his 2 2/3, 4-2, and it is a ball game going to the top of the 4th. Well, no. But if you think that the payroll is not going to be at least close to what it was this year, it might be maybe $10, $15 million, $20 million less, but it's going to be pretty damn high. We're probably going to have the number 1 payroll once again. Even if you do trade for 1 starting pitcher, you got to fill at least 2 more spots, and that's probably going to come through free agency. And then you got to get a whole new bullpen, basically. You need about 3 or 4 guys. And most likely they might go after a DH as well. So, I would be shocked if the Mets don't spend a lot of money. I mean, they're probably going to try to get Yamamoto. That's probably going to be about $200 million, and that's one pitcher. So, yeah, Alien. But you know what? It is a Mets thing. But you know what though? It is also the Mets, and Cohen is the only owner that would actually pay the salaries and get great prospects in return, where you boast your whole entire farm system, and now you're top 10, not top 5 in farm systems out. So now the Mets going into this offseason have so many extra prospects where they have options if they want to trade to get better and get better players in here. All right, guys. So thank you for watching Game 7 of the ALCS, a couple of innings with Scherzer on the mound. So check out for my live streams. Thursday is always the Mets offseason report every Thursday throughout the offseason. Once the World Series is over, MLB Hot Stove and Mets Hot Stove and MLB Free Agent Frenzy will all be coming up throughout the offseason. Watch out for my videos as well throughout the offseason as well. I'll be doing a couple of more videos for the top 5 needs of the New York Mets, top 5 free agents the Mets should go after, and 5 top trade targets the Mets will go after over the next week or two. That's what I'll be doing with videos. So once again, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out for a couple of innings, watching Scherzer slowly give up the lead. So everybody have a great night. As always, let's go Mets. And let's go Astros, by the way. I don't want to see the Rangers win. So have a great night, guys. I'll see you next time, guys. Have a good night.